Welcome to the Bodhi Academy. My name is Shrutika and today let us start a new chapter from level standard biology textbook, that is biomolecules. So biomolecules. So basically our body does various functions because of the nutrients that our body gains from the food that we eat. So the food that we eat is rich in carbohydrate, proteins, amino acids, then vitamins, minerals, and all these nutrients are which are essential for our growth and development are called as biomolecules. And now in this chapter let us study how the structure and what are the functions of these biomolecules, and let us understand more in detail about biomolecules in our chapter biomolecules. So biomolecules. Biomolecules are basically chemicals or molecules present in living organisms which are called as biomolecules. So biomolecules are basically chemical or molecules. So they are basically chemicals which are present in our body or which are taken in by our body through the food that we eat. Then biomolecules are divided into two types. So biomolecules are divided into two types, that is inorganic and organic biomolecules. So inorganic biomolecules includes what? The mineral, the gases and water. And organic biomolecules include carbohydrates, fats, proteins, nucleic acids, vitamins, etc. So this is the difference between what? Organic and inorganic biomolecules. So different biomolecules can be classified as aldehyde, ketones and aromatic compounds as chemical forms. The amino acid, nucleotides and fatty acids can be classified as biomolecules forms. So these are the forms of biochemical, these are the forms of biomolecules. So biomolecules are basically divided into two types, that is organic and inorganic. Organic and inorganic. Inorganic are basically minerals, gases and water. Organic biomolecules are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, nucleic acids and vitamins. So we are focusing more on inorganic biomolecules, and now let us study in detail about each of the biomolecule, as in how is the structure and what are the functions of each of these biomolecules. So the first biomolecule what we are going to study is carbohydrate. So carbohydrate, also called as polysaccharide, it is a long chain of sugar containing different monosaccharides as a building blocks. So carbohydrates are basically polysaccharides of long chain of sugar containing different monosaccharides. So as in each this so each of the monosaccharides, okay, this individual is monosaccharides, and each monosaccharides forms the building block of what? The polysaccharide. So it is a long chain of monosaccharide. What is the polysaccharide is a long chain of monosaccharide, and this is called it. And what are the monosaccharides? It is the sugar. Okay, so it is basically carbohydrates are long chains of sugar and monosaccharides forms the building block. So this is how carbohydrates are present. Okay, so starch is present in plant as storehouse of energy. That we know that starch is present in plant, which is a product of photosynthesis, which is stored in the plant as the source of energy. It forms helical secondary structure, and it can hold up to 12 molecules in the helical structure. And cellulose, so these are the forms of what? Carbohydrates. Okay, so first is the starch. So starch, it is basically present in animal plants, and it forms what the form is helical secondary structure, and it can hold up to 12 molecules in the helical structure. Then comes your cellulose. So cellulose molecule contains glucose molecule joining together by 1,4 linkage. So at the 1 and 4 linkage, it will form the joining point. Okay, if this is 1 and this is 4, so this will be the joining point of the molecule, and it is the most abundant organic molecule on earth. So cellulose is also found in plants. Then comes your glycogen. Glycogen is called animal starch. So it is found in animals, as it is the reserve food material for animal bacteria and fungi. So glycogen is basically found in animal, bacteria and fungi. In this, the glucose molecule are arranged in highly branched bush-like chain having two types of linkage, that is 1,4 in straight chain and 1,6 linkage in branching. So if this is 1 and 4, so then this 1,6 will be like in branching. Okay, so 1,4 will be in the center, which will have the 1,6 linkage, which will form the branching. So this is how glycogen is present in in animals. So these are the forms of polysaccharides or carbohydrates, that is starch, cellulose and glycogen. Starch and cellulose in plants, and glycogen in animal, bacteria and fungi. So second type of biomolecule is protein. The second type of biomolecule is basically protein. So protein is also essential biomolecule which is required by our body for various functions. So proteins are polypeptide chain made up of amino acids. So proteins are what it is like, they are in form of chain, and it is made up of amino acids. So each amino acid forms chain which has a polypeptide linkage between them. It has a peptide bond between the amino acids. So these are the amino acids. So each amino acid has a peptide bond between them, and this forms a long polypeptide chain of amino acid, which is called as the protein, which is forming the structure of protein. So there are at least 20 types of amino acid joined together by peptide bonds between amino acid and the carboxylic group. And there are two kinds of amino acids. So amino acids are of two types. That is, so amino acids are of two types. So basically proteins are made up of amino acids which are of two types. It is essential and non-essential. Essential amino acids obtained by living organism along with food. Okay, so amino acids which are obtained by the living organism along with food are called as essential amino acid, and non-essential amino acids are amino acids which can be prepared by our body from raw materials. So non-essential amino acids are the amino acids which are prepared by our body, okay, inside our body, and essential amino acids are the amino acids which are taken in by our body through food. So there are two types of amino acid, and this is how the structure of protein is. It is having amino acids which are joined by peptide bonds, and this forms long chain of proteins. And proteins are basically made up of amino acids which are essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. Now let us look at the functions of proteins in living cells. So the first function is the transport of nutrient across the membrane. So proteins helps in transportation of nutrients across the membrane. Then the second function is fight infectious organisms. So proteins helps in fighting the infectious organism and hence increasing our immunity. Produce enzymes and proteins. So proteins also helps in production of different enzymes and proteins which are essential for the cellular processes taking place in our body for a proper functioning of our body. So in our today's class, what we have learned is what are biomolecules and which are the different types of biomolecules, that is carbohydrates and proteins. So thank you for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe.